Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, August 17th. Okay, let's get into the action this morning. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher by 0.11%. We're seeing some positive sentiment this morning in tech stocks. That's kind of good. The Middle East headlines over the weekend were rather quiet. We are kind of waiting on some commentary from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent this week, as he's expected to announce additional economic measures against Iran. The peace talks have essentially stalled, and oil prices are showing slight gains ahead of these comments from Treasury Secretary Bessent, and also due to the fact that Israel launched a bunch of airstrikes over southern Lebanon over the weekend. In corporate news, NVIDIA is scaling back its financial commitment to OpenAI's data center project in Ohio. They're reducing the planned guarantees to less than $120 billion. The Trump administration, they're urging Apple not to purchase any memory chips from China. Stripe and private equity firm Advent International, they're in talks to acquire PayPal. The talk is about a price tag that's above $60.50 a share. On the earnings front, we got HT trading higher after their latest report. Looking ahead to tomorrow morning, you got Home Depot and you got Baidu scheduled to report. And this weekend, we got a host of key earnings announcements coming out because we got Toll Brothers, we got TJX, we got Target, we got Analog Devices, we got Deere, we got Alibaba, we got Ross Stores, and others. So we got a lot going on the earnings front this week that's going to keep these markets active. Taking a look overseas, and we're going to start off with Germany. Germany's flat. It's in the green. It's up 0.01%, 0.02%. Technology and energy stocks are providing some modest support. In London, the FTSE's higher by 0.19%. You're seeing gains in mining and pharmaceutical stocks. In Paris, they're down 0.18%. Some weakness in financials and luxury stocks are kind of pulling that index a little lower. And then you look at the Nikkei overnight. Then you got to start off with Tokyo. The Nikkei jumped 506 points, or 0.74%, led by strengths in autos. Financial stocks did weaken a little bit. Hong Kong, the Hang Seng was up 336 points. That's 1.34%. Semiconductors, financials, pharmaceutical stocks all contributed to the advance. In China, the market was higher by 1.41%, led by gains in tech and mining stocks. And then we turn our attention over to oil, because that is a key catalyst for the markets. And oil is trading higher, not significantly, but you got WTI at $82.52. You got Brent at $89.01. Soon to announce sanctions are kind of, are there. Israel's strike on southern Lebanon, is not helping move prices lower. But in terms of like the shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, very limited. But the word is that there's more ships going through the strait with their GPS devices turned off than being acknowledged. So that could be something. Maybe oil is a little bit overpriced right now. We'll have to kind of stay in tune and keep watching, see what happens over the next few days. On the earnings front, upcoming, Home Depot's coming out tomorrow morning. Their EPS is $4.71. Expected moves 4.26%. You got Baidu. Their EPS is $1.51. With an expected move of 7.21%. In terms of economic reports, you got the Empire State Manufacturing Index coming out today, and the Housing Market Index is also due out. The Empire State Index is coming out at 8:30 a.m., where the Housing Market Index is due out at 10 a.m. Key announcement for the week is going to be the Fed meeting minutes. That comes out Wednesday. Expect a hawkish bias when those reports come out, when that report is released. Let's move on. Let's talk about the FANG stocks this morning. Apple to change their ad tracking rules after a German regulators probe. And Google, Berkshire Hathaway added to its stake in Google. Third Point, on the other hand, they exited their Meta stake. That's kind of concerning. Soros Fund, they raised their stake in Tesla by 63%, 63.6% to be exact. In Dow Jones 30 News, the White House is urging Apple not to buy Chinese memory chips. And NVIDIA and OpenAI are restructuring their financing agreement for that Ohio data center project. It's actually might be considered a little bit positive, but we'll have to wait. But that's really the theme of the summer is these financing projects. In terms of guidance news, L3 Harris, which is ticker LHX, Larry Henry X-Ray, they reaffirmed their guidance for full year 2026. Shareholders meetings, we got RAMP, which is Live Ramp, R-A-M-P. They're holding a shareholders meeting today at 2:30 p.m. What else we got? Hey, let's move on to our pick of the day. I'm going to go with KLAR, Kilo, Larry, Apple, Richard. That's Clara. EPS is tomorrow morning. Now, they're expecting a loss of 7 cents, but they expect to move to 16.35%. Yes, Friday's call volume, 6,166 calls to 4,265 puts. That's a 0.69% put-to-call ratio. I like that. That's kind of in the sweet spot. It's under 70, so that's good. Open interest, on the other hand, 106K versus 55K. 106,027 to 55,902. So, that's very positive. And the major brokers are raising price targets on it. I see a couple out there. They're kicking up that price target. So for me, I want to get in $20.70 around that area, maybe a little lower if it ticks down to the 2060 area. But I'll be watching this pretty closely. Ticker KLAR on an earnings play for tomorrow morning. Okay, let's take a look and see if we see any news hitting the tape over the last 15 minutes or so that could affect the market this morning. Oh, see, L3Harris CEO is stepping down. That's why they're reaffirming the guidance. I knew there had to be a reason. iPoint UIPT, they announced top line results from one of their trials. DraftKings announced the launch of a $600 million term loan B facility. That's all I'm seeing this morning. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our pick of the day from yesterday, which was Alibaba, ticker BABA. Stock opened up at $122.79, fell to $122.35, then closed at $123.81. And this morning it's trading at $126.70. Hey, the 1% was there, so that was a good call. Alibaba worked out on Friday. All right, traders, that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green today.